Hello and welcome, dear aspirant, our future officer and change maker of India. Hope you are doing well and taking a smarter step closer to your goal of serving the nation. This video is for you. We are discussing artificial intelligence, part of information technology for UPSC. If you have not seen or not gone through the previous videos on artificial intelligence, dear aspirant, I suggest you to go through the playlist. And today we are going to discuss the concepts of AI. That is a continued discussion from our previous meeting. So, in the previous session, we discussed the concepts of AI and machine learning in particular. So, today, let's discuss the remaining concepts of AI, including deep learning, natural language processing, and AI ethics. Let's jump in. Starting with deep learning. So, deep learning is one of the subsets of machine learning, which you know uh, involves artificial neural networks inspired by uh, biological neural networks. So, the intention is to make the machines think, you know, like humans, respond to the questions, or interpret the patterns in the data. So that's the main goal of artificial intelligence. It is trying to simulate human intelligence into machines. And in the deep learning, so it is more like, you know, trying to mimic human brain like decision making, simulate human brain like decision making in machines to process, large data sets. And just like humans process the data in multiple layers, the way the biological neural network is designed, so it enables human brain to interpret and process large data sets, also generate predictions and identify patterns. So the same thing through artificial neural networks, AI is trying to simulate human brain like decision making in machines. And this specialized subject in of machine learning, we are calling it as deep learning. So as I said, this is inspired by biological neural networks, or shortly abbreviated as BNN. So there are they use different layers to learn data representation, and also to interpret data in a hierarchical manner. So this is how the artificial neural network is created by taking an inspiration of human biological neural network. So here you can see, uh, this is the neural biological neural network of human brain. So it has a cell body. There are these are the different parts of or neurons present in the biological neural network, and each has its own biological function, for to interpret, to accept inputs in a biological neural network. Dendrites are responsible for accepting an input or to process, and there is main cell body and the nucleus, that acts as a biasing or functioning system. And then the output, or if you are thinking and if you want to speak, so the output is coming through this axon terminals, and this is more conceptual. But the important thing or the key thing is, how artificial neural network is inspired and designed in deep learning. So there's the basic tutorial interpretation of biological neural network and artificial neural network, PNN and ANN. Just keep this picture in your uh, snapshot in your brain, dear aspirant. This could be useful. So moving on, uh, let's look at some of the let's simplify the understanding of deep learning. So this the relation between AI, ML, and deep learning. So AI is the superset, and ML is a subset of AI, which deals with simplified supervised learning, unsupervised learning. I mean, it is a basic uh, learning of machines, learning technique that we have discussed in the last session. And on the other hand, the deep learning is a subset of ML, that is inspired by biological neural networks, uh, and the concept of ANN, artificial neural network, is the heart of deep learning. So let's look at some of the key features in deep learning. So this is more conceptual, but is important when you are correlating some technological advancements in AI to the basic concepts. So let's see multi-layered networks. So the multi-layered networks, they comprise of input layer and multiple hidden layers and one output layer. So something like this. So these are all the input layers, and you have a hidden layer in between, and then the output layer. So this is multi-layered network. So that is one of the features in deep learning. So you can go, further uh, learning this, but from a UPSC point of view, the general basic knowledge is sufficient, and the key thing is, to link any advancement in artificial intelligence or deep learning to this, basic concept. But from a basic general perspective, so the feature, one of the features of deep learning is multi-layered networks, where you have one input layer, then multiple hidden layers. So when you come across different examples of deep learning and different applications of deep learning, uh, you'll come to know why, how, and these layers are contributing to different levels of data interpretation and prediction. So the next one we have is a data driven learning. So based on large data sets, as we have discussed in the last session, so based on large data sets, the training or the output of any machine is improving. Based on the more input it gets, it interprets, processes the input, try to identify patterns, and eventually it achieves higher accuracy. So that is data driven learning. So that is one of the key features of deep learning. Feature engineering. So this is automatically learning some of the relevant features from the raw data. For example, if you uh, provide the machine with data with a particular pattern, let's say you have given an image to process, or you have given a paragraph which consists of both text and image. So it automatically learns the features from the raw data. It tries to identify what is an image, what is the text, and so on. So this is something called as the feature engineering. So the next is complex patterns. So complex patterns is again the capability uh, to interpret patterns like speech, images, and videos. So more it's not just a pattern or a labeled data that it is trying to interpret, but it is also trying to interpret images like deep fake images, enhancing your videos. you know uh, Such kind of interpretation is achieved to this feature of deep learning, which is complex patterns. So moving forward, let's look at some of the techniques in deep learning. So far we have seen some of the key features that talk about different levels of data and interpretation. So deep learning, in order to simulate human brain like data processing, so they use some techniques have been implemented when the machine is going through this deep learning process. So if you look at those techniques, dear aspirant, so it is also important to have a gist of what each technique is contributing to in the real world, like the applications of each technique. The first one is CNN, which is convolutional neural network. So it is specifically designed for image recognition. So this is the key part you have to remember. And on the examples or application side, we have a number of uh, systems with facial recognition, medical image processing. So these are some of the examples that uh, highly deal with image recognizing and deep image processing. So the technique used in such uh, scenarios is convolutional neural networks. Then recurrent neural networks. you know. So it is processing of data like like a time series. It is sequential data. For example, reading a paragraph, trying to interpret the text, uh, you know trying to interpret date and time, etc. So that is processing of sequential data. So day, month, year. So there is a sequence, and in some of the languages, the sequence changes. So the direction changes. For example, English, we have a left to right direction. So some of the other languages, so they are opposite. So sequential data interpretation or processing of sequential data, uh, majority of the application is in chatbots, and the key one of the key concepts we are going to discover or learn in this session, that is natural language processing. So one of the key techniques used from deep learning is recurrent neural network. Next is GAN, which is generative adversarial network, which is you provide input, and it tries to generate you know based on the input you have provided. For example, you're trying to generate uh, a photograph. You want to combine two photographs. So this is one of the features you see in many you know video editing or photo editing tools nowadays. uh, you know uh, so that actually behind the scenes, the key technique that the machine or the system learn is generative adversarial network. So it has a discriminator, and every time you asks to, for example, if you take chat GPT, you ask it to generate an image based on your idea, it gives you an image. But when you ask again to uh, to enhance the image with more detail, so that is where it has a discriminator. So it compares your previous output and tries to generate a enhanced version of the image. So the key technique used in such interpretation, data interpretation and processing, is GANs. And final thing is the transformers. So it is also again sequence to sequence tasks. So widely popular in natural language processing, like translations, automatic translations, chatbots. So sequence to sequence. So these are some of the key techniques in deep learning. So when you come across especially for prelims, when you come across a current affair that throws some light, or it involves one of these techniques uh, in artificial intelligence, then you should be able to understand the basic context of that current affair, so that you will not miss the context. And rather, instead of remembering the current affair as is, if you know the context and relate to the basics, it will be always useful, and you can reproduce it when you are trying to answer a mains question as well. So on this positive note, let's move on. So that's all about deep learning. So we have learned the techniques, concepts and features in deep learning, and some of the applications. So majority of them is generic applications like image processing, speech recognition, uh, natural language processing, and so on. So now this is the concept, one of the concepts in AI, natural language processing, which is uh, pretty much in our day-to-day life, text to speech converters, chat gpts that we are interacting with, all of these is trying to interpret a human language. If you ask a question in english, which is a human language, it tries to interpret the language, try to understand the context, and give you back a response in a readable language, the same readable language. So the concept is natural language processing. So as I said, so it is a branch of AI, so that enables machine to understand, interpret, and respond to human language. So it responds to human language, in a meaningful and useful way. Okay, so it bridges the gap between. So when you are interacting with, uh, any AI system, for example, if you're asking a question using a microphone, so it internally it has a speech to text converter, so that interprets your speech and converts to a text, and then the AI system uses NLP for processing the text and give you back the response. So it is bridging the gap between human communication and computer system, so which is a key thing. If you look at the key components of NLP, so first thing is the tokenization. So tokenization is nothing but, the machine is trying to break the text into smaller chunks, either words or sentences, so that it can easily interpret the context, and process the query. So the and what we'll do, once it breaks the text into smaller units, it tries to identify the parts of speech, right? It try to identify the grammatical structure, and try to tag, okay, this is a noun, this is a pronoun, this is a verb, etc. So it is trying to, just like we try to understand someone speaking to us, you know so in the same way, the context is understood by the machine, by this component called, tagging parts of speech. Next is named entity recognition. This is something, you know we do. So when we discuss about a thing, so uh, we recognize patterns. We recognize entities like, names, dates, locations, etc. In the same manner, natural language processing component, NER, it extracts these entities. Now sentiment analysis. So uh, the recent humanoid humanoid robots, uh, so they not only uh, respond just like, someone reading an answer. No, they understand the emotional context, and for example, if you are joking with a humanoid, let's say Sophia, so it responds, in the same funny manner. So it understands the emotional tone behind the text. So is it positive, negative, or neutral, and accordingly it analyzes and response. So if the response is again a speech, let's say it interprets the text and it generates a response and try to give you the response in terms of a speech, then the tone of it is determined by this sentiment analysis. And finally, you know language generation. So when you are interacting in a particular locale or language with the system, it tries to create text or output in the same locale. So majority of it is used in chatbots, and you feel like you're chatting with a human who is sitting behind the computer, the other side, but uh, it need not be always a human. So the AI system is so powerful that it doesn't give you the feel that you're talking to a machine. So these are some of the key components. So natural language processing, if you want to just have a snapshot, so this is it. uh, so it is trying to bridge the gap between a human and a computer system, right? Coming to the next topic, the techniques used. Just like we learned the technique used in deep learning, like CNN, RNN, and so on. So we have some techniques that are used in NLP as well. So we're trying to see, what category the technique is used in, and some of the real-time examples. So rule-based, for example, any famous grammar correcting websites, behind the scenes they have a rule engine. So every language has a linguistic rule guide, to analyze and probably to interpret the grammatical mistakes. So the technique used is handwritten linguistic rules, you know, uh, to analyze the language, and it falls under a rule-based category. And examples, as I said, grammar correction systems. So the next technique is machine learning models trained on large data sets. For example, email spam detection, or trying to categorize your emails into priority, social, and so on. So these are all based on large data sets, and the technique used is ML technique, even in NLP. So it is the categorized as statistical models. And as we learn in deep learning, some of the techniques are implemented or applied in natural language processing. So neural networks like RNN and transformers, they are used in NLP. So that's some basic discussion on NLP. Now, AI ethics. So this is one of the, I would say, most important topic uh, from artificial intelligence, because it has so much of current affair relation in terms of India relevance, and also the global rules and regulations that are getting imposed on having a responsible AI. So it's good to have the basics, right? So what is AI ethics? So any technology, emerging technology, is bound by some rules and regulations, right? Uh, to not to misuse the technology or create any harm to the humankind. There are some guidelines published for and different organization across the world, you know, make their own guidelines and try to impose them and track whoever is misusing. So coming to the definition, so it refers to moral principles and guidelines. So a new technology is emerging. So what is its impact on the current human employment, let's say, for example, or let's take a simple example of electric cars, you know uh, uh, having their boom nowadays. But what is the impact? So majority of the automobile mechanical factories are going to be shut down, and it is uh, kind of a huge recession. We are close to that. So there are guidelines to make this transition, uh, and there are steps taken to avoid negative impact, right? So AI ethics in our context, they refer to moral principles and guidance governing the design. So starting from designing an AI system until deployment or making that AI system ready for the world. So uh, in each step we have some guidelines that is governing, you know uh, so why are these guidelines for? So we want to ensure that AI technologies are aligned with social values, you know society values and human rights and global sustainability. So we are creating something, we want to simulate our intelligence in machine, but to what extent? So in our previous discussions we have seen examples of super AI overpowering humans, and Elon Musk's concern on super AI and so on, right? So all those threats are considered when declaring the principles or ethics of any technology. And here we are looking at the artificial intelligence ethics. So what is the importance? I think this is uh, a key concept we need to understand and interpret. So human centric development, similarly, which ensures uh, AI systems enhance human well-being, right? For example, uh, robots uh, performing major medical operations, right? Those are enhancing human well-being. They are not harming. But there could be examples when super AI evolves. There could be examples of AI system harming human beings. So any development in AI should be human centric. Accountability. So there should not be any misuse, and someone should be a governing body, or whoever is developing these AI systems should be accountable. They should prevent misuse, of the AI systems. There are so many examples of cyber bullying, creating deepfake images of celebrities. All these are some of the misuses of technology. So it has to build AI driven system should build public confidence, right? So we have discussed about one of the examples where there could be biasing, you know uh, an AI system recruiting resources in your company. Could be the program could be tweaked to bias a particular candidate of your favor. So such inequalities and biasing should be addressed. So these are some of the main uh, takes or guidelines and the importance of AI ethics, right? Just a snapshot for you. So moving on. So key ethical principles. So we have seen importance, why AI is important. Then what are the principles in AI? So transparency. So when you're writing algorithms, AI algorithms, you know, they should be explainable, and there should be a scrutiny to not to misuse them. So that is transparency, fairness, accountability, privacy, of course. Data privacy is one of the key concerns. Safety, they should be reliable, safe, and of course, beneficiary. Let's see some of the challenges. As we discussed earlier, some of the hiring tools could bias a candidate. You know, so lack of accountability, like black box AI systems, uh, they lack accountability. So privacy concerns, weaponization of AI. This is, I think, the most important you know concept or challenge. So if someone weaponizes AI for cyber warfare, you know, uh, so I cannot imagine. So job displacement, as we spoke about electric cars, we can also speak about prompt engineering. So that is a major threat to IT industry, right? Uh, Software personnel are getting replaced by AI systems soon. So there could be job displacement. So AI ethics in the Indian context. So we will be learning, dear aspirant. We will discuss about uh, India relevance as a separate module, but it's always important when you're learning the basics to have India specific context. So these are some of the challenges. Linguistic diversity. We speak many languages in India, so we want to have AI systems that have linguistic diversity. Digital divide, bias in governance. So linguistic diversity, of course, ensuring fairness and accessibility of multilingual society. Uh, Preventing AI from deepening socioeconomic inequalities. So bias in governance. For example, Aadhaar linked systems, they should not have any kind of bias. They should be unbiased and fair. Each citizen is should be treated as same in the same manner. So we have some Indian initiatives. We'll be learning about them in detail in upcoming modules. But to just to have an idea, so National AI Strategy Niti Aayog, I've been stressing this. So we will learn in detail about that. Then we have Personal Data Protection Bill, Bhashini initiative about the languages, and we have AI and smart cities. So Niti Aayog focuses on AI for all, emphasizes AI not only for the technical industry but for agriculture, healthcare, education, and so on. So there's a dedicated website, uh, dear aspirant. I'll put that in the description so you can go through that. Personal data protection is about data privacy. You know, so the bill has been passed in 2023. Could be an important topic for us for UPSC and other exams. So Pashini initiative, it is AI driven translation tools. So this is also an initiative from India. AI in smart cities, we have surveillance systems, urban planning, etc., which uses AI. So global ethical framework. So this is also again important. Any technical concept we pick up in from science and technology, it's very important to understand the global relevance and India relevance. So if we see some global ethical frameworks that across the globe, so these are some OECD AI principles. There is a link in the description. Dear aspirant, you can go through it. Similarly, UNESCO AI ethics and EU AI Act. And with all having all these ethics in place, we're trying to achieve development and sustainability. So we are trying to balance the development with ethics, and these are some of the examples. So we are trying to balance innovation and with regulation. Global cooperation, of course, not only in ethics, not only in AI, but any technology like satellite communications and space explorations advancements. We should have global cooperation. We have a number of you know uh, current affair topics where there is a global collaboration between institutes and countries, right? There should be cross border challenges to be addressed with global cooperation. Education and awareness, of course, we have India AI website which promotes AI literacy and future of AI in the government sector. Similarly, Niti Aayog. So I think it's pretty much uh, the discussion on the concepts of AI, uh, deep learning, AI ethics, and natural language processing. So with this, uh, we take a break. We may, I would like to thank you, dear aspirant, for your valuable time, and every small step, adds to your major goal. So on this positive note, so we are learning basics of artificial intelligence, a topic from information technology, and we are creating a playlist, for you to learn, revise, and in the upcoming discussion we'll try to close the basics of artificial intelligence with a very important topic, that is, applications of AI. So there is a direct limbs questions uh, asked uh, from applications of AI. So going forward, we'll also discuss the previous year questions on basics of artificial intelligence. So thank you for your time, and I wish you all the best. Jai Hind.